Namaste, welcome to Vande Bharat Media. Have you ever held on your armrest on an airplane going through a turbulence as your stomach twists and softly praying you make it through or at least know how to open up that parachute you never had to use? Fortunately, this isn't a frequent occurrence with destinations to which people more commonly travel. However, for some others, every landing and takeoff is an adventure. Although flying is one of the safest means of travel, many passengers suffer from fear of flying, including myself. Some airport approaches are a lot more challenging than others and can turn into a terrifying experience that makes the bravest frequent flyers grip their armrest. From mountain ranges and oceans to less than a half-mile runways, here are 10 of the most dangerous airports in the world, where landings and takeoffs require extreme precision and massive pilot skill. And the first one is Wellington International Airport in New Zealand. Serving the capital of New Zealand, Wellington International Airport is the third busiest airport in the country after Auckland and Christchurch. It features a single 2,081-meter runway that appears to start and end in the ocean. The airport has a reputation for sometimes rough and the turbulent landings, even in the larger aircraft, due to the channeling effect of Cook Strait, creating strong and gusty winds, especially in the northwesterly conditions. This makes it extremely difficult for pilots to manage landings and can sometimes turn flying into a hair-raising experience for the passengers. And the next one is Gibraltar International Airport in British Overseas Territory. The runway at Gibraltar's airport crosses the main road in and out of the British Overseas Territory, and consequently traffic has to be closed every time a plane lands or departs. The resultant traffic jams have led to the construction of a tunnel under the runway, but the project has been plagued by delays and is still not complete. However, the highway crossing is a main issue for pilots. It's a strong turbulence and wind shear around the Rock of Gibraltar and across the Bay of Algeciras that makes landings here a challenging affair and particularly uncomfortable. Diversions and go-arounds are common, especially in winters. Princess Juliana Airport in Saint Martin. The notorious Princess Juliana Airport on the Caribbean island of Saint Martin is famous around the world for its low landings over the ocean. Owing to one end of its single 7,546 feet long runway being extremely close to the shore. The proximity of Maho Beach to the runway has made the airport one of the world's most favorite places for a perfect Instagram shot, as the landing jets appear to be just feet above the heads of the public just before touchdown, while takeoff creates huge gusts of wind and sand for the sunbathers. It's not without danger though. In 2017, a New Zealand woman died from injuries sustained by jet blast from a departing aircraft. The Narsarsuaq Airport, Greenland. One of the two airports in Greenland capable of serving the large airliners, Narsarsuaq Airport is located in Tunulliafik Fjord on the country's southern tip. The airport was built in 1941 by the USA Ministry of Defense. Pilots must deal with strong winds, severe turbulence and wind shear in a mountainous landscape before they get sight of the relatively short 6,000 feet runway. While the high wind in the Fjords is a major challenge for pilots, a nearby volcano can even more of a headache. While it erupts, its volcanic ash cloud contains very small particles of glass that can damage aircraft engines. And the next one is Toncontín Airport, Honduras. The approach to Toncontín Airport, located near the capital of Honduras, has long been considered to be one of the most dangerous in the world, especially in the inclement weather condition. The mountainous terrain surrounding the small airport forces pilot to make a dramatic approach that's anything but head-on, with a steep descent and a sharp turn prior to lining up with the runway. It's also one of the world's deadliest airports. In 1989, a Boeing commercial plane crashed into mountainside on approach, killing 132 people. At least 5 more planes have since followed suit and crashed in and around the airport. A new airport is currently being constructed in Komiaga to replace Tonkontin International Airport. And the next one is Madeira International Airport in Portugal. Madeira International Airport, Cristiano Ronaldo, formerly known as Funchal Airport on the Portuguese archipelago of Madeira in the Atlantic Ocean, is considered one of the most dangerous airports in the world due to its spectacular construction. The original runway was only 1,600 meter long but was extended to 2,781 meter after a fatal plane crash in 1977. The runway extension is supported by 180 columns which have to stand serious shock loadings during landings. The airport is also dangerous due to strong winds, high mountains on one side and the ocean on the other. Pilots must undergo additional training to land at the airport. Tenzing and Hillary Airport in Nepal. Tenzing Hillary Airport, also known as Lukla Airport in Nepal, is a prime airport for anyone who is visiting Mount Everest. The runway is surrounded on all sides by steep Himalayan terrain with a mountain shelf on one side and a steep drop into valley below on the other side. The airport runway is extremely short at just 527 meter, although it also slopes uphill with a gradient of almost 12%, which helps planes to slow down in time. To make matters worse, there is no go-around procedure because of the surrounding mountains. Given these factors, only helicopters and small fixed-wing propeller planes are permitted to land. Since 1973, there have been several accidents on the airport that resulted in many deaths and injuries. The Courchevel Airport in France. While the airport at Lukla has a dangerously short runway of only 527 meter, the one at Courchevel Airport is even shorter at 525 meter. This airport, which serves the exclusive ski resort of Courchevel in the French Alps, drops off in a cliff as well. So pilot needs to make sure they gain enough speed for takeoff if they don't want to fall off the cliff's edge. The runway also has a downward gradient of 18.6%, which further complicates takeoff and landing. Moreover, on approach of during takeoff, pilots has to maneuver their aircraft between Alps without instrument procedures. The only clear guideline is no go around due to the surrounding mountains. And the next is Juancho Reskin Airport, Sabah Island. Juancho Reskin Airport is located approximately 45 kilometers south of the Saint Martin on the minuscule Dutch Caribbean island of Sabah, also known as the original King Kong movie island, with a runway of only 400 meters in total length. This makes it the world's shortest commercial airport runway. The airport is wedged on a rocky outcrop at the foot of a mountain, with jagged terrain on one side and cliffs dropping into the sea at the other ends of the runway. So any landing here is a nerve-cracking challenge. Although the airport is close to jet traffic, regional airline propeller aircraft are able to land there under waivers from the Netherlands Civil Aviation Authority. Paro International Airport, Bhutan. Paro is Bhutan's sole international airport. The tiny airport is nestled in a deep valley and surrounded by sharp peaks up to 18,000 feet tall. Strong winds whip through the valley, often resulting in several turbulence. Considered the most dangerous airport in the world, flights are only allowed during daytime and under visual meteorological conditions in which pilots make their judgments by eye rather than relying on aircraft instruments. The dramatic approach to the runway is completely out of sight for the pilots until the last minute as they maneuver between mountains at a 45-degree angle before dropping quickly onto the runway. Only a limited number of pilots are authorized to land at Paro. Mention your valuable suggestions in the comment box. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications for future videos. We'll come up with more exciting videos. Goodbye and Jai Hind.